guys, in this month's Disney Rewind, we're going to be talking about WandaVision. So before we do head into our thoughts and feelings on WandaVision, released on Disney Plus, a quick warning: there's a good chance some spoilers might pop up in this video. I don't know how we can talk about this show without any spoilers. So yeah, if you have not completed WandaVision, turn away and come back at a later point. So Stephanie, how did you feel about WandaVision? Kind of just your general feel.
Well, first I was skeptical about WandaVision. Because judging from the trailers, I don't really even remember the trailers that well, but I thought, this looks stupid. There was no, like, explanation about what even the show was about, you know?
What they were giving you was, like, very vague. And it was kind of like, what?
And I was like, what is this crap with, like, why are things in black and white, and then why are they in color, but, like, old color? So, yeah, at first I was like, this looks like trash. But I actually ended up really enjoying it. Pretty good show for the first Marvel thing.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as well, that it's like I was excited for WandaVision anyway. Like, I was going to watch it anyway, but at the same time, yeah, I was kind of skeptical, like, oh, I hope this goes well. Yeah, the plot's synopsis, the first trailers, it's like they kind of weren't really doing it for me. I mean, it's like I was still like, oh, I'm going to watch this, but I was just still like, just for the most part confused and not sure what was going on with the show. And something common that I've seen from a lot of people when they've been talking about this show is that, you know, Wanda and Vision are very minor characters in the movies, and we've never really gotten a good sense of them as characters, and more than anything, a good sense of their relationship, because all of a sudden they're in a relationship, you know? So yeah, that was kind of another thing going into this show. Not only kind of how I felt, but also just other people I've seen talking about the show, is that no one was like wildly invested in Wanda and Vision and their relationship. So that's what I ended up really loving about this show, is that you're finally given a reason to like these characters and really get invested in them and get invested in that relationship, and it means something, you know, because you don't get that in the movies. The movies are like, here's a brief hint of it, but we got to move on to what Iron Man's up to, or something, you know. So
so that when like she shows back up in the movies, it'll be more exciting. It feels like
you're gonna have like
you'll be more interested in her character in the next whatever movie she shows up.
Because she's gonna be showing up in the next Doctor Strange movie next. So it's like when she shows up, you're definitely going to have this stronger emotional attachment to her, I feel like. Yeah. And a deeper understanding of her character. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the movie does. I mean, is it going to even hint at what Wanda's been doing?
It's like, can you go back and watch the movies now that she's in, and kind of feel more attachment to her now that she has a better character thing going on.
It's like, I mean, because in Age of Ultron, I mean, you get the backstory. You know what happened to her mom and dad, because, you know, she's in there telling Tony, hey, one of your bombs took out my parents, you know, and then the movie ends, and spoiler for Age of Ultron, Pietro, you know, he gets shot to death, pretty much, so he dies. So you know that Wanda, her whole life has just been full of tragedy, essentially. But yeah, it's like the movies never go deeper than that. So yeah, the show, I really like that the whole show is really a big character exploration for Wanda, and the whole thing just has what she ends up doing to the Westview, right? Westview, what she ends up doing to that whole community. It's all done out of pain and grief, and if we had to diagnose her, depression. So I like that the show was kind of exploring that deeper part of her character, that the movies definitely, like I said, they definitely just kind of skip right over.
I feel like it was definitely a massive risk for Disney to take, because, you know, not having a very a trailer that explains what the story's about. Whereas, like, you know, a casual Marvel person, because believe it or not, there are casual Marvel people, not just crazy fan people. So, like, to a casual person, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier would probably seems very intriguing to a lot of people who aren't into, you know, who aren't diehard Marvel people, because it looks like it's a fun show. It's not too bonkers, you know. It's taking place more in like an actual reality, you know.
And it looks like it's going to be strongly focused on like more of an action element.
Yeah. So like, and to me, that's more appealing to me because I like more actiony things. Whereas, yeah, WandaVision was kind of a big risk for one of their first shows, as it's not characters that
you're overly attached to.
Yeah. And that you have you don't have much backstory for, and
once again, why should we invest in the relationship between these two when the movies just kind of skip over it?
And the trailer was so vague, whereas like you know, they already have a Loki trailer, and that has more. That tells you more about what the show's about. And the Falcon Winter Soldier, you know what's going on in that for the most part. But yeah, WandaVision was just, to me, it just seemed like a big risk. I don't know what the views were, but I'm assuming it's paid off for them.
Yeah, because
seeing as probably word of mouth, people probably.
Yeah, that was the big thing with the trailers. It's like, okay, why is it a sitcom? I mean, is the whole thing like that? Does this tie into anything? You know, and the thing is, I think WandaVision, it's only 9 episodes, but the thing is, it's definitely a slow burn, you know? Because those first 2 episodes, because it starts like in the 50s, right? You have like the 50s style sitcom, and then you move into the 60s style sitcom. And, you know, those 2 episodes, I mean, it's like you're literally watching, like, if you're watching, like, I Love Lucy or Bewitched or something, you know, it's like you're literally watching something like that. And so, yeah, when you watch those first 2 episodes, it's kind of like...
And then there's just that brief snippet, both of them, that at the end, that's like, wait, there's real world stuff, what's going on here?
So, it's like those first 2 episodes, it's really just perplexing, like, oh, okay, what's going on?
And I think that's why they premiered both of them together, because you want to keep somebody's interest, and if you just kind of have that one little half-hour thing, some people might get turned off by that and be like, why do I want to finish this?
The only hint that you get that there's something kind of strange going on, it's like you got to pay attention to the little details sometimes, because like in the very first episode, everything is going on like it's like I Love Lucy or something. But then you get to them when his, Vision's boss, he's choking, you know? And that's the only time in the episode where it's like the facade of what Wanda's doing, that facade just kind of breaks, and it's like, oh, okay, there's something else going on here. You know, because when his boss is choking, it's really strange and weird. Yeah. It's kind of, it kind of makes you awkward and you feel awkward.
Because everybody's just like...
Yeah, you the viewer are also kind of put in this really awkward position, like, oh, this is weird. Is anyone going to do anything? You know,
like, and then
and then even in episode 2, you know, because Wanda sees that's when she sees that red helicopter, right? So then that's kind, and then the beekeeper at the very end. So you get in those first 2 episodes, you get those little threads, like, okay, there's something else going on behind the scenes here. And what I like too about the first 2 episodes, they are a total misdirect, because we had all of our wild theories, remember? Because of the commercials. If you've watched the show, because you know there's the commercial breaks. And I'm trying to remember if it was episode 1 or 2, and one of the commercials, and if you kind of stared, like, there was the Hydra logo on something. So we had all these wild theories that Hydra, like, they had kidnapped Wanda, she was like in a coma, and they're like trying to access like Vision or something through her, or they had Vision's body. You know, we had all those theories that Hydra was up to no good. And I think that was done on purpose. You know, the commercials, I think, were almost kind of there to misdirect you, like, make you think Hydra was somehow involved. You know, kind of steer you away from Wanda actually being involved, you know? So I kind of like that. So then, yeah, we got that misdirect, like, hey, it's Hydra, but it's not Hydra. And then, God, when is it when you get the reveal that it's kind of Wanda been up to everything? That was definitely by like episode 4 or something, wasn't it? Somewhere in there. You get kind of that reveal, no, Wanda's been up to everything. And then it kind of shifts, like, oh, is Wanda the villain? You know, and you think Wanda's kind of the villain for the whole time, because she's making these people suffer.
Yeah.
You know, these poor people, these innocent people in this town are suffering under the effects of what Wanda is doing, this mind spell.
And she doesn't want to believe that it's her
Yeah.
making the people hurt.
Yeah.
She kind of like ignores it, and she's like, "You're fine."
It's like the show has like these 3 phases almost, because yeah, you those first couple, it's like, oh, is Hydra up to everything? No. Next couple episodes, Wanda's up to everything, and then yeah, by the time you reach that last chunk of the season, then it's like, oh, Agnes / Agatha is behind everything. So I liked just every little twist and turn of this show. I think it was just all really cleverly done, you know. I guess just to talk about some random things. I guess this is the part of the video we'll just kind of spout out some random things. Tommy and Billy. They were cute. I mean, I knew from the commercials, because you knew there were going to be some babies. You know, the commercials, there was like a shot, because like when they were showing the stuff that looked like not Fuller House, but Full House, that showed like some babies. So I knew there was going to be like babies in here. But I didn't expect them to like grow up, you know, to like little kids, you know, under 10 or whatever, however old they were supposed to be. I wasn't expecting that at all. So that was nice that they were aged up. I just like the whole family dynamic, you know, because since it was like in the style of a sitcom, you know, and like turning, you know, Wanda creating this fantasy version of a happy life she wanted.
But even though there were still the complications of family
life, still family drama that she had to go
even
through.
though she's created all this, there's still but it was like accidents, like the dog dying. That wasn't supposed to happen, because it was because it was that she was messing with stuff. So yeah, it was supposed to be happy with the dog and the whole family. And
you know, I do kind of want to touch on the sitcom element again one more time, because I think there is a reason why we go to the 50s. We start at the 50s and then we end in the modern. Because you got to think about the progression of the American sitcom, I guess. Because yeah, in the 50s and 60s, the sitcoms, they were very, I guess, like domestic. You know, they were very domestic. Everything was kind of simple and wrapped up and silly and absurd. And everything, you know,
kind of perfect.
Yeah, everything is just absolutely spot on perfect, you know? And it's like Wanda at that stage, she's very much in control of this scenario. You know, everything is perfect in those couple episodes.
Because then even when like the couples on those shows might have an argument,
it's resolved.
It's not like a horrible argument.
Yeah, it's
resolved.
And
then like they laugh.
Yeah,
they're like, oh.
And that's just it. It's resolved in 30 minutes. You know, it's resolved in 30 minutes. So I like, you know, you have this first couple that everything's perfect and everything's neatly tied up. There's no problems. And then you move into kind of those next couple episodes. And like sitcoms in the 70s and 80s are kind of starting to change a little bit. You know, introducing a little bit more complications and whatnot. And it's kind of here in the middle, and then you have Wanda, you know, things are starting to kind of fall apart a little bit for Wanda. Like she is kind of
control.
Yeah, she's losing a bit of control with the scenario and the fantasy. And now there's kind of additional problems being added in. And then, yeah, you move into like the 90s and the 2000s, and the sitcoms have a totally different look there. And it's like they're still focusing on the family, but like, yeah, there's, you know, dealing with heavier subjects sometimes. And even though they're comedies, they're also dealing with heavier subject matter and heavier problems. And like we just said, in the 50s and 60s, the housewife character, everything's perfect and great, but then, like, you know, they do like the kind of the Modern Family scenario,
and she's like, oh my god,
yeah, she's
happening?
Yeah, she's exhausted. Her hair's not done. She's just dressed in, you know, just sweatpants and sweatshirt. You know, she doesn't have that perfect look and persona like you see in the 50s and 60s sitcom. So I like that progression from the 60s to the 2000s, essentially, because not only do the sitcoms change over time, but like just even the role of a woman, I guess, and then that in turn relates to Wanda, her unraveling mentally. You know, everything's perfect, but it's slowly not getting perfect, because then she realized she is exhausted by the end. So, Stunny, how did you feel about Pietro? Because I feel like Pietro is just a total big misdirect, because once again, we all had our theories. Turns out he just was just another dude on the street, right? That's my understanding.
But why did they recast him?
I don't know.
Still knew it was him. But they still made the joke. I mean, they make the joke about him being different.
She recast Pietro.
But I don't know if... Okay, I don't know if, too, it was because they couldn't get the one guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that was... Yeah.
But was it intentional? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if Disney's thing was intentional or if it's because they couldn't get the other guy.
I left the whole Pietro situation.
Or if it was because Agnes, she got him mixed up.
I don't know. Yeah, I left the Pietro situation just really confused and not really totally understanding it. Because that's the one thing I'm still confused about. It's like I understood everything else. You know, as everything was unraveled throughout the season, I got it. But Pietro's still the one thing, it's like I'm confused. You know? Because, yeah, was he just a normal guy on the street?
Because then, too, he had the name of the man that Agnes said
Ralph
was her husband.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just...
Wait, what was her name? Agnes was when she got revealed?
Yeah, Agnes was her nosy neighbor persona.
Okay.
And then Agatha...
Okay.
Just however you want to refer to her. We'll know who you're talking about. Because, you know, once again, everybody, especially all the fanboys, all the YouTube videos that I like to watch and everything, all the crazy, nerdy comic book people, they all had their theories like, oh, Marvel has just introduced the multiverse. You know? And I was like, oh, that's cool, you know? Because once again, Doctor Strange, the next Doctor Strange movie is called,
I don't know.
What's it called? Into the Multiverse, or no, wait, no, that's Spider-Man Into the Multiverse. Madness. It has the word multiverse in it, doesn't it? It has the word multiverse in it. So once again, I think I don't know if Pietro was just once again a misdirect to get you excited and to make you think about things when in reality none of that's really going on. Because yeah, it is. It's just really confusing with him. Yeah, why was he recast? You know, was it just a case of they couldn't get Aaron Taylor Johnson? You know, and they got the next best thing. I don't know, but I liked
him in the few that he was in.
Yeah,
I liked him being and he came in at the right time.
Yeah.
Did he come in the 90s or like at the end of the 80s? Well, he's definitely in the 90s.
I think he came in at the end of the 80s. I think he came in at the end of the 80s one.
Because he came at the right time as being the cool uncle that the young boys want to hang out with. Because that's always the thing, you know, especially. Yeah, the 90s and 2000s was the cool uncle. Yeah. So he came at the right time and his personality fit in with that time period.
Yeah.
Of just being the cool, fun guy.
Yeah. Once again, though I'm confused about him, I'm just not quite sure what the intent was. It's like I still liked him being in there, you know? It's just I wish I understood it better.
And then, like, you know, it was Halloween, and then he said something about Vision, about him being dead, and like I guess maybe Wanda kind of realized that wasn't even really him anyway, because the way she threw him, she like tossed him away, like because you know she always talks about him like she cares deeply about him, you know, so why if you did, why would you throw him back? But it's like she was like. She finally just gave up and was like, I don't even know why you're here because I didn't summon you. Yeah. Because, that was once again Agatha. So Agatha did all that, right? I liked that part because she was just kind of like, you're not even supposed to be here.
So I guess moving on, talk about Agatha. Starts off as the typical nosy neighbor like in the sitcoms. And you start to kind of get these glimpses of there's something going on with her, you know.
Because it almost seems like, at first I thought it was supposed to be kind of like more like her right-hand man.
Yeah.
That she knew about kind of what was going on. You know, I don't know. Well, part of me sometimes felt like I thought like she and Wanda were kind of not in on it together, but like she just knew what was kind of happening.
I was wondering if she was slipping from the fantasy.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Wanda was having trouble controlling her, and she was slipping from that fantasy. That's what I was kind of initially thinking.
Because sometimes she, like, you know, when she get yelled at, like if Wanda kind of freaked out a bit, and then she'd be like, okay, you know, or
sorry. But yeah, I freaking loved that Agatha was actually the big villain of the whole season. You know, not Wanda, because they make you think it's Wanda, but then it's actually Agatha and everything. I love that, and she's another witch. She's been around for hundreds of years, it seems like, as they show her during the Salem witch trials. So what exactly was her motive? Just to get power? To get the power of the Scarlet Witch?
Yeah.
From that Darkhold book, I guess?
Yeah.
Is essentially kind of what it boils down to, is just she wants more power. But Wanda ends up being more powerful, I guess?
Yeah.
It's kind of how I kind of saw it. I love that whole sequence with the battle. The battle between Wanda and Agatha. That was really cool. I like that whole thing. All the magic and the runes and everything. And yeah, Agatha thinking she's winning, but then Wanda's like,
She used her own trick.
Yeah.
Her own trick against her with the runes thing, because then she was like, hey, remember you told me?
I loved Agatha as a villain, but I will not forgive her for killing Scratchy. Or no, not Scratchy, that was the rabbit. What was the dog's name?
I forgot.
Oh god, what was the dog's name? And I killed, because she's like, and I killed whatever I can't remember, because Scratchy's the rabbit, right? Is Scratchy the rabbit? I can't remember. What was the dog's name? Where is it, Scratchy?
I kind of forgot about the rabbit.
Because she had that rabbit. But yeah, I will not forgive her for killing that dog. You know, we're not even really talking about...
We were more shocked that she was the one who killed the dog than them revealing that she was a bad person.
I like
because they were going through the whole song, and then it said, and I killed the dog, and we were like,
yeah. You know, we've not even really talked about Vision.
I was over here thinking, we've been
talking a lot about Wanda, but not Vision. Once again, I really liked seeing this different kind of side to Vision. You know, I mean, technically it wasn't really him, because that version of him was what was pulled from her, right? Because his body, the government still had his body. Sword still had his body. You know, because that's what White Vision is. White Vision was...
Is that his name?
Well, to separate, because you have Purple Vision and White Vision. Because, yeah, the White Vision at the end, that was the body that the government had. Wanda did not actually take the body. They were making it like she did, but she never did. What the Purple Vision was kind of that memory of him, what is in her. That's why, you know, when everything's fading away, he fades away too. But the White Vision is still out there, because that is the real Vision. That's his body, and Vision put the memories back in him. Stephanie, did you get confused about all that?
I thought it was his body.
The purple one?
Yeah.
No.
And that
that's why he was falling apart.
Well, I thought he was falling apart because he was already in pieces. And because she put him back together, that's why I thought he was falling apart.
That's what I thought too, but then once they kind of...
They lost me. In Marvel, you lose me once you get a little too, like...
Science fiction-y? Is that what's happening?
I thought it was the real Vision.
Yeah, White Vision was the actual body that the government had.
I thought he was just like another casing that they designed.
Like another...
kind of put programming.
Like they 3D printed him or something?
Yeah, I thought he was being 3D printed because he looked like it.
Yeah, Purple Vision, my understanding of Purple Vision, that is what was in Wanda that was coming out. You know, this fantasy version. Yeah, I really liked Vision in this. It was nice to see Paul Bettany do something, because a lot of times in the movies, Vision, he's just kind of there to be cool and to go blow up some stuff. You know, because he has that strength and the intelligence, you know, and that yeah, I just really liked what they did with him in this. And yeah, once again, fleshing out the Wanda and Vision relationship, you guys, because I ship it now. I can rewatch all the other movies and be like, yes, I want to ship this.
So, like, is the new Vision...
Stephanie's still on the White Vision.
Is he... So, like, he's got all of his memories now,
yeah, because
right?
Purple Vision put those memories in him.
So, like him and
broke it up.
Wanda don't need to go psycho, right? She can just go find this new Vision.
Yeah, but her children, she still don't have her children. Or does she?
Well, you can have them again.
How do they even have children?
I want to
know. Let's not get into the technicalities here, but I want to know how she even had children with him. I mean,
because they discussed that briefly in the real world.
Was it magical?
With like Darcy and them, and they said something like about that part that was like back in like episode 3 or like 4 or 5 or something, and they mentioned that about the kids, and they were like, they said something, I don't remember.
I'm just kind of confused about the kids too, because I mean, did she really have them? You know what I mean? Did she really have those children, or was that once again just kind of part of the fantasy? I'm kind of confused about that too. I
can't remember, because if somebody did say like that they were real in a sense.
I don't. Yeah, because then once again, when she's that cliffhanger at the end of the final episode, and she's looking at the Darkhold, and she hears the kids. She hears them, so it's like, are they real?
At the same time, I started thinking, well, like they're at the end of these, the final episode, that she was upset that she was losing her children, and she got upset whenever something would happen to them. But if you think about it, like. She did shield them from thinking they were gonna not wanting them to know they're gonna die, because she just was like night night, But I mean, if you think about it, she had more emotion about losing Vision than she did about losing her children.
Yeah,
which makes me think and they weren't real.
I don't know
but she wasn't.
But like she said,
upset.
Like she said, we're still family no matter what.
Yeah,
like it's still family for her. So yeah, I don't know. The Pietro's confusing me, and
then
the
she was like,
"Thank you
for choosing me, like
as your mom." Yeah,
you're not adopted.
Yeah. Okay, let's finish up here and talk about the other random people. Darcy's back. Yay! I was at. I know a lot of people hate Darcy. But I feel like a lot of people got turned around with WandaVision and kind of really like Darcy now. I mean, there's always been people who like Darcy, but I feel like there's been a large majority of people who just have never really liked Darcy.
I've always liked her.
Yeah, I've always liked her. But
because she's like, technically she would be us. If there was this Avengers crap going on in real life, and there were aliens coming down, Darcy is what a normal human being would be like.
She is the voice of the viewer a lot of times. In the Thor movies, in WandaVision, she's and she's sitting there watching it, watching like a show, and she's like, she recast Pietro. That's the best line in the whole show, you guys. I don't care what anybody says. That's the best line. She's sitting there getting into all the technicalities, and she is us, the viewer, essentially.
She questions things that you yourself would be like,
what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I love Darcy in this. And then Agent Woo, right? Agent Woo. I like seeing him back because has he only been in the Ant-Man movies?
I think so.
He's only been in the Ant-Man movies, so I really like seeing him in this environment. And he's the type of character, I mean, him and Darcy both. They're the type of character that can cross over into all these other movies or shows.
And the one lady.
Oh, Monica?
Yeah.
We'll talk about Monica in a minute.
All three of them, to me, seem like they can come in together.
Yeah.
They can be a little team now. Yeah. Or they can all just show up separately in different shows, because they have like the knowledge of what's going on with everything.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling Stephanie this too. I feel like Agent Woo and Darcy, because I was telling Stephanie, because Stephanie has not seen any of the Marvel Netflix shows. But yeah, in the Marvel Netflix shows, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, all those shows, kind of the running character in all of those Netflix shows is Rosario Dawson's character. She plays like a nurse in that show. And she's constantly in all of them, she's this connecting thread, so that way when you get to like the Defenders, she's that thread that everyone's familiar with. And so I feel like Agent Woo and Darcy could easily kind of be what Rosario Dawson's character, kind of her function, like even if they themselves don't get their own spin-off show, because a lot of people are thinking, ooh, maybe we'll get an Agents of S.W.O.R.D. show, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I don't know if that would happen, but they can be the type of characters, especially with Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up. I can just see Agent Woo popping up, and then even like Loki's show, I don't know if Darcy could possibly pop up in something like that, or once again Agent Woo can pop, the two of them can definitely pop up. And then we'll talk about Monica. Monica's another character that could easily maybe cross over, but I almost feel like they're setting Monica up to have her own spin-off show, talking about Monica being the little girl from Captain Marvel. I loved that. I tell you what, that big reveal when because we had that one episode and it's pretty much entirely focused on Monica, and we get that kind of, it's really dramatic when the snap is undone, when Tony Stark snaps, and everything's undone, and she comes back, and there's all that chaos and craziness. That's a side we didn't see in the movies.
Hospitals and real life things.
Yeah, we did not see what happened after Tony snapped. Because when Thanos snapped, we saw what happened, essentially. But yeah, we didn't see when Tony did it, what happened. We didn't see...
Just pure chaos.
Yeah, we didn't see the pure chaos, and... Because, there were people running around, they were scared. People were scared, they were horrified, there was a lot of confusion. There were people that were happy. There was a lot of mixed feelings because these people have been gone for 5 years, And then, yeah, poor Monica, to discover that her mom died. Because we find out, because her name was Maria, right? Maria, she had like cancer or something? She had cancer, but in that 5-year gap, she's died. And Monica wasn't there to be with her. So, that was really sad. And yeah, just seeing in that hospital all that confusion and hysteria, essentially. And we definitely get the idea, Monica, she's upset about something with Carol, a.k.a. Captain Marvel. So I don't know if that's some sort of tie into Captain Marvel 2 now. Like Monica's definitely going to be a character in that next movie, possibly. And we'll flesh that out, why she's upset with Carol. Because it probably does have something to do with her mom.
Would she be the age that she is now? Or would she still be like a few
years
younger?
that's what I don't know. I don't know if the next Captain Marvel movie, I don't know if it's going to be pre-snap.
Crap.
I don't...
Snap crap was what, 5?
Snap crap.
It was like, what, 5 years?
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if the next... Because they've not said anything about Captain Marvel 2. I don't know if it's going to be pre-snap or post-snap.
Snap, crack,
I have a feeling it's going to be pre-snap, though, because I think they're going to be, like, introducing us to Monica in that way. Like, especially if you've not seen WandaVision.
Yeah, because
they will introduce her in the movie.
Showed up at Sword.
Yeah.
Like, did she already work there?
Yeah,
she
I
just showed up like I work.
Yeah, I feel like the second Captain Marvel movie is definitely going to set up Monica for the movie audience. Set her up, and probably set up that introduction of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or, Sword. That way, if you've not seen WandaVision, you're not confused with her. Because you got to set her up somehow in the movies if she's going to be part of the movies. So yeah, they're probably going to set that up. And yeah, maybe that frustration she has with Carol possibly, and that probably has something to do with her mom.
Like maybe she thinks there's some little magical gem out in space that'll
they
save her.
Heal her mom, save her, and Carol can't save her.
She'd be like, no.
Yeah.
It could turn her into a mutant.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, that's another theory, because Monica
has powers.
She didn't have powers, but because she went in and out of the hex, as Darcy was calling it, because she went out of that, she kept saying that her genes were kind of being spliced in different ways, and all of a sudden she got those powers. So that's another theory. Has Wanda somehow created, not necessarily the X-Men, but like mutants in general, with
the thing
all
is,
the gene stuff.
Like those people, they didn't go in and out. They were just stuck there already.
Yeah.
While they were in there, the longer they were in there, was it messing with them? Or was it only because Monica literally was like going in and out?
Yeah, I don't know.
And that red field was...
Yeah.
If you touched the red field, it was like going into you.
Well, plus, I mean, when Wanda expanded the hex, it touched everybody. Everyone was forced into it. So yeah, that's another question. Have we somehow gotten the world of X-Men / mutants introduced to us in a kind of subtle way or not? Or once again, are we just overthinking it? Is that kind of it? There's a lot to talk about with this show, and I feel like we've only kind of touched the surface, but we can only sit here for so long. Is that kind of it? I mean, what are your final thoughts about WandaVision? If you had to rank it on a scale of 1 to 10 Mickey ears, what would you give it?
Give it an 8.
An 8? I was seriously considering giving this a 10 because that's how much I freaking love this show, you guys. But I'm going to give it a 9. And only a 9 because I am just really confused about Pietro. I do have just a lot of questions about Pietro. I do feel like little things like that weren't kind of satisfyingly done, because I feel like the whole ending was just so rushed. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9, but like a very high 9, because yeah,
maybe I'll give it.
I freaking loved. I love the show. It exceeded my expectations in every possible way. Because yeah, I was kind of expecting the worst. Yeah, any final thoughts?
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we're going to cut this video and be like, oh my god, we didn't talk about this. It's like the commercials, for instance. I could just sit here forever and talk about those commercials because I feel like even all the commercials had a deep meaning. You know? There's just so many things you can sit and talk about in like detail that, you know, that really goes into like Wanda's psyche and whatnot. But yeah, that's it for our discussion on WandaVision. In the comments below, if you guys have any thoughts, whether you love the show or you hate it, just share this down below. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.